Hello, everyone. Welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. As many of the old viewers have known, I have been a Thrive Life consultant since 2017, but now Thrive Life is closed. They're officially closed. And so I have been on the hunt trying to find a freeze-dried company that I thought had value, good quality, and a lot of potential. And so this, I think, is where we're landing. You know, I've done some unboxing and showing you different products from Emergency Essentials. And then I became aware of another company. And so I ordered a box to come in, and I'm going to show you guys what we got. But in addition to that, I actually got to meet with the owner, and we had an interview. And so that's what's coming up next. And I hope that you enjoy it. There's a ton of information, tells you a lot about the company, tells you a lot about the product. And so I wanted to make sure that you had all of that information right straight from the company. And then we're going to do a taste test. Hello, everyone, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. Today we have a special guest to introduce you to, and I hope that you give him a big welcome. And I know that you're going to enjoy all of this information because I have. As most of you know, Thrive Life Foods closed, gone, kaput, and we have been looking for a replacement, essentially, to make sure that we can continue stocking our pantries for the long term, because many of you know this is my retirement plan, okay? I'm making sure that we have the food that we need in our homes, no matter how old I get. And I'm hoping to get another 20 to 30. So let's cross our fingers. But I want to introduce you to Marcelo Sergopoulos from Thrivalist Exceptional Preparedness. Hello.
Hi. So good to be here.
Did that right? Yes. Okay.
You did it. You did my last name.
I know. So Thrivalist, even though it sounds kind of similar, it's not. They do offer freeze-dried and dehydrated, but they offer so much more, and I think you guys are going to really, really love them. So Marcella, can you start by sharing a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to create Thrivalist?
Yeah, you bet. So my background, okay, my name Marcelo Sergopoulos, Brazilian Greek, but I was born here in the United States. So I'm Greek-Zilican, a little bit of everything. So I talk with my hands like my dad did, right? But I also speak Portuguese, Spanish, all that whole bunch of crazy things. And my background is I used to be director of entrepreneur development for the state of Utah. And in that capacity, I helped set up the entrepreneur program for Utah. And I got this love of helping families, like helping entrepreneurs, helping people make their family life better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just got really fun for me. I didn't expect to get into emergency preparedness. If you were to go back 20, 30 years, I was into survival and all that stuff. And I learned a whole bunch of things because it's cool because, guys do that stuff.
Right.
And I didn't really expect to get into emergency preparedness. It happened because I got married. And I don't know about you, but when you get married and then you have kids and you hold your little baby girl for the first time, and then later your little baby boy, and something changes in you, and all of a sudden you want to do more for them than you want to do for yourself.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that kind of got me into preparedness. And at the time I was really trying to do everything right. So I spent about 1,000 hours studying YouTube videos, all this stuff and everything. I didn't understand that there's some really good stuff on YouTube, but probably 90% of it is wrong. And I didn't know that at the time. And so I started buying up foods and doing all this stuff. And then my family and my friends are all like, Marcelo he's the king. He knows how to do preparedness. He's got 1,000 hours, whatever like that. Now I got like 20 to 30,000 hours.
Yeah.
Made way more mistakes, $100,000-$300,000 in mistakes at this point. But at the time, I got duped. And I don't know if you've ever gotten duped by somebody, and it just rocks your world.
Yep.
Like you thought you were doing everything right. And there were two companies that ended up selling me food, and I spent a lot of money on them. But even worse than that, I got my mom to do it, and my brother to do it, and my friends to do it, and a whole bunch of families to do it. And all these people because they trusted me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And when that food went bad in about a year because it said up to 20 years or up to 25 years, right, which is the majority of the foods in the industry, and people
Yeah.
don't understand that the FDA is not sitting there going, oh, you didn't keep those, keep those years. They don't care. A lot of times they just let it go. You could put up to 50 years, anything like that. 90 to 95% of the market is food that can't last 25 years, but it still has 25 years on the shelf on the
Hmm.
label, and people don't know the science of it. And we can go into that some other time. But what happened is I got duped, and it rocked my world, and I felt sick to my stomach that my family, my friends, and everything, some of them that didn't have money spent a lot of money because of my advice.
Yeah.
And so from that point onward, I said, I'm not going to trust anyone anymore. I'm going to do the science. I'm going to go out and talk to the labs. I'm going to talk to people who aren't just marketers. I'm not going to talk just to the company to find
Right.
out what they say because they're too invested in selling it, right? And I ended up just going forward, learning everything I could about preparedness. That led into building the largest emergency preparedness retail store in Utah. That led to creating one of the top manufacturing plants in Utah. We can do about $1 million of food every 2 days or so, right?
Wow.
That led to creating the longest lasting emergency water. I think I got it right here in the world. Okay. That led to a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of companies, products, a whole bunch of stuff, becoming a pioneer in the industry because now I'm doing it scientifically. I'm doing it to make sure people do it right, you
Hmm.
know?
Yep.
All that stuff. Like even you look at this right here, okay? A lot of people don't understand. You have to have a liner on the outside of the can and you have to have a liner on the inside of the can. And if you don't do that, your food will taste and smell like metal over time, like a lot of people's food does. I've seen people open up their cans and it's all rusted inside because the rice had a little too much moisture and it didn't have a liner. And if you don't have it on the outside, it rusts and cracks this little thing right here. And
Right.
a lot of people, if you open up the cans, go to Utah or go to Amazon and look at emergency preparedness brands where people have opened up the can and look at inside. It's half full almost every time.
Right. Yes.
Okay, and that's a pet peeve of mine. The
Yeah.
FDA doesn't care. FDA doesn't care if we go over the weight. They just don't want us going under the weight.
Right.
We put a conservative weight, and our weights are always wrong. We always go over.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so our cans are full. Our cans, and nobody wants to put a half full can in their basement. And when you open it up to eat it every single day, you don't want just a couple cups of it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
Right.
you want to be able to make sure that you're getting as much food as possible, and we do that. So it costs us a little bit more money. Okay, we go out there and do the right stuff. We buy the better foods, the non-GMO, not the junk from feeding the billions and all that stuff, and everything. We get the right stuff. So that led all the way up to a company called Thrivalist. That was a long story, wasn't it?
That was a long story, but it leads into one of my next questions, which is, what does the name Thrivalist mean to you,
Perfect.
and how does it represent your mission?
Excellent. So what happens is this: in the industry, I didn't expect, by the way, Thrive to go out of business. They're,
Yeah.
they're friends of mine.
Yeah.
Okay, like us and them, we've been doing it right for years. When people talk to me, hey, who does it right? Us and them.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what it's been. And you go to my store, my workers say us and them.
Yeah.
Thrive is amazing. I didn't expect Thrivalist to merge into Thrive. Later
Right.
on, like I not even a clue of that. So years ago, I was trying to figure out how do we serve more people? How do we serve more families to get ready for preparedness for emergencies? Because
Mhm.
crazy things are going to happen. And two people ended talking to me and saying, "Hey, you should do the name Thrivalist." And I'm like, "Well, that's weird, and everything." But I thought about it. I go, "Wait a minute. There's something there."
Mhm.
Because to your question, in the industry, you have preppers, you
Yep.
have survivalists. I'm a prepper, I'm a survivalist, okay? But a
Okay.
lot of people have this misnomer that if you're going to become a prepper or survivalist, then you have to become a hoarder or a fanatic, right? And it's just not true,
No.
right? But there are hoarders and there are fanatics,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's okay. That's not a big deal. Well, what happens is when I speak at these large conferences, they have me as the keynote speaker at these conferences on the stage, and I'll have people in the audience, and I'll say, "Hey, what's the difference between a prepper and a survivalist?" And nobody has an answer. And
Mhm.
then once in a while, somebody says, "I'll give an answer," and I say, "Cool, get up here," and they give a definition. Guess what? Out of all the conferences I've done, I've never gotten the same definition twice.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And so people don't know the difference between a prepper and a survivalist. And I tell people, I know you better than you know yourself, okay? After 20 to 30,000 hours of real world experience, after working and teaching, because if you want to learn something, teach something. Guess what? You'll make mistakes and then you'll find out I'm not teaching that again, and you'll learn super quick what not to do, right?
Right.
And so what happens is when you teach that many times, you start learning things. And I'm like, guys, I know you better than you know yourself. I will give you a definition of prepper and survivalist, and you'll be able to give yourself a home finally. And obviously there's homesteaders and everything else that
Right.
goes into a whole different realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But prepper and survivalist, I just simply say this: a prepper is somebody who focuses on supplies over skills. You can still do both, but the focus is supplies.
Mm-hmm.
And a survivalist focuses on skills over supplies. Super easy.
Yeah.
And people go, "Oh, I'm a survivalist. Oh, I'm a prepper." Okay, mostly, right? The truth is, during an emergency, you have to be both.
You do.
You have a Venn diagram that comes together, okay? And in the middle of the Venn diagram is the things you need to do. These are the things you have to get, the supplies you have to get, and these are the skills you need to learn without going overboard.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know the right supplies and you know the right skills without going overboard, you can get better prepared in 90 days or less than you can get prepared in 10 to 15 years, period. And I'm
Yes.
not joking. We're talking about saving 5 to 10,000 hours of dumb mistakes. Okay, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of buying the wrong stuff, and even worse, not even knowing you bought the wrong stuff until an emergency.
Right.
Find out it doesn't even work.
That's the wrong time to find out.
That middle ground right there is called the thrivalist. Okay, and watch this. That thrivalist is a positive word.
Okay.
You notice that? In the industry, you have 4 different types of people. You have drifters.
Yeah.
Okay, who just don't even know anything's going wrong and are just like ignorant, right? And
Yeah.
nothing could ever happen. And if it does happen, I'll figure it out when it happens.
Yeah.
Right? A little too late at that point, right? You have to go try to get toilet paper then, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, so you have drifters who are just kind of, I'm not
Mhm.
worried, right? Then you have dabblers. Now, drifters are led by ignorance. Dabblers are led by fear.
Yes.
Okay, so what happens is you have a thing called the preparedness vicious cycle. And the preparedness vicious cycle goes like this: something in the news scares you enough to want to get prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So you run to the store and you grab whatever anybody's grabbing. Okay, if they're grabbing toilet paper, you grab toilet paper. If you grab if it's bottled water, they grab it. And that was the wrong thing to do, by the way. Everybody was grabbing bottled water, and I'm like, that is the wrong way to do it. But they don't know that. They think they're doing the right thing. There's way better ways to do it.
Yeah.
They totally way better ways.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they were doing because everybody else was grabbing bottled water.
Right.
Now, if everybody was going after Twinkies, everybody would go after Twinkies.
Yeah.
They don't even know why. Okay.
Somebody said to.
Yes, the news is saying everybody's grabbing the Twinkies. Everyone's like, well, the Twinkies must be important. And that's what they're going to go do. It's just the news drives the fear.
Yes.
Now, if the news drives the fear, then that person gets into preparedness for the fear.
Yeah.
And fear is a horrible long-term motivator. It's a short-term motivator. That's all it is.
Yep.
Your fear drives you to do FOMO, to buy something in the store,
Yes.
or to get into a program quickly because you're afraid of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't want to be in an emergency. It might happen to you, right?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you're fear-based. So you go out, and as soon as the news changes, or you get used to the news, right? And look at what happened with Russia and Ukraine. Everybody ran to my store in Salt Lake, and hundreds of thousands of dollars within a week or two. And then within about 2 to 3 weeks, people got used to the news.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, the war's still going on, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, but people got used to the news. So what happens is this: as soon as you get used to the news, or it doesn't scare you enough, everything seems okay. You stop preparing until
That's true. They do. Yeah.
until the next time.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you find out, oh my goodness, there's more than just toilet paper and water. There's also grab and go kits. There's also security. There's this and that, and power units and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you start feeling overwhelmed and you'd want to give up because it's like preparing is overwhelming. Not being prepared is overwhelming. Where do you go, right?
Right.
That's a dabbler.
Okay.
Now, if you get into the right programs like we teach people 7 steps of preparedness. We take them through, what's called Thrivalist 7 steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you learn the right steps and you can do it systematically in 90 days or less, a lot of people do it in 30 days or less. Then all of a sudden you go from a drifter to a dabbler to a steward.
Okay.
And now you're doing steward out of faith because you can get prepared. You have the faith.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going forward to get that done. You're just going to get it done.
Yeah.
And you're going to prepare your family the right way the first time. And then once you're prepared, you become a guardian.
Okay.
And you are a guardian. Okay.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. You're the type of person that you're not satisfied with just helping your family. You want to help people around you.
Right.
Right. You want to reach out and create an influence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a guardian. And I tell people, hit your chest, even if you're not there yet. I'm a guardian. Okay. I'm a guardian.
Yeah.
Put that in your mind, because that's motivated out of love and care for others.
Yeah.
Not just faith. It's a deeper level.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what Thrivalist leads you to do. Thrivalist is not the drifter or the dabbler. If you're going to be a Thrivalist, you have to become a steward and a guardian.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. No, those are great definitions. That's great. Okay. I really like those definitions.
Yeah, those are ones I created, and it made it easier for me to explain it to people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I constantly am telling people, because we get people that say, well, there are actually people out there teaching that say, oh, if you haven't started yet, it's too late.
Oh, baloney.
It's never too late to become better prepared for what might happen tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. That's what we get people done in 1 to 3 months.
Right.
What's too late?
You're never, well, and that's it. I mean, people have different income levels. They have different situations, different time. And so you're not going to do it all at once. It's going to take a little bit of time.
And Lisa, I've been doing this long enough to give a little bit of suggestion here. I have people that say, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Right. And I sit there and I say, oh my goodness, I've been an entrepreneur, done over 30 businesses and everything else. Okay. This business right here is my child, to the point where this has become my full-time mission.
Right.
So we do make money in the company. I don't take a paycheck on purpose, because I want to make sure that this is about the mission, not the money, about the people, purpose, not the profit, about the people. When you find your people, you find your purpose.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what happens. And so that's what's motivating me here. I'm fine financially.
Yeah.
I don't need to build my own kingdom. I can build somebody else's, like above, right?
Right.
Somebody who's more important than me, And so with that in mind, people got to understand, after all these businesses, my mentors who've done billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, were not easy on me.
Good.
When I sat there and I said, I don't have the money to build the business, guess what they said?
Go find it.
They said, excuses are useless. And I'm like, ouch, that hurts.
I know.
Okay, because they said it's never about money, it's about resources. And
everyone's got an excuse.
The thing about it is, people say, well, I can't do it because I don't have the money. I don't have the time. The thing about it is, you might not have the money, but you have the time.
Right.
And your sister or your brother, your best friend or whatever, they have the money. And you say, let's team up together. I will do all the preparedness research and everything else. You have the money. Let's go in on this together.
Right.
Or you might not have the time. Okay. So, but somebody else has the time and you have the money. It's always resources. And when people give excuses, this is what my mentors told me: excuses are useless. And again, it hurts. I'm like, ouch, you're not letting me be a victim, And
that's it. There's a lot of victimhood out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
People, there's always an excuse.
Yeah.
And you can only do what you can do trying to get it to them. But
yeah, and I do want to massage people's hearts a little bit. I'm not trying to be hard on people.
Oh no, I've been told I'm the no nonsense teacher.
Yeah.
Because that's just you have to accept responsibility. Nobody's coming to save you.
No.
I don't care how much you want it. Nobody's coming to save you. So we have to be in charge of doing it for ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. FEMA's not going to come. Sorry.
No, they really aren't. Yeah. Not even to steal your stuff out of your basement. Okay. So I guess I don't think we did this, but what gap did you see in food preparedness, dehydrated or freeze-dried market that you wanted Thrivalist to fill?
That's awesome. So that question gets me excited, because that's what drove me to create Thrivalist. Okay. The course I created, the courses, there's several, but they took over 4,000 hours, not because they're so long, but because I took very complex principles you can't get from ChatGPT. Okay?
Right.
And I ended up putting them into courses that are very concise and simple, just like I did that whole survivalist and pepper thing. If you can simplify things that people can understand it, they think, oh, I already knew that, but they didn't. Okay. Yep. And that's what I did. I don't know if you've heard the famous writer who wrote his friend and said, hey, sorry for the long letter. If I had more time, it would have been shorter.
Right.
So with that in mind, I was like, oh my goodness, I got to teach people the right thing. That started with food.
Yeah.
That started when we were number 3 on the internet about 10, 15 years ago, probably closer to 15 years ago. We got to number 3 on the internet, in the top 3 in the on the internet. And I had all these companies coming out to me that had buckets of food. You know, they called it freeze dried, but it wasn't. It's called a component meal, and it's
Right.
not freeze dried meals. And they
Mm-hmm.
had all these buckets, and they were selling it to all these people. And I just didn't trust anyone anymore. And they were going 25-year shelf life, this and that, and everything like that. So I looked at it and I just did a simple calculation,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 500 to 600 calories per day.
Yeah.
And the sales guy called me and said, "Hey, why don't you put our food on your website? I mean, you're out there. Everybody knows who you are and everything else. We'll give you all these commissions as an affiliate."
Yeah.
And I'm like going, because have you done the calculations on the calories? It's about 500 to 600 a day. And he had the guts to say, well, that's not a big deal. All you have to do is double or triple or quadruple it, and you'll have enough calories. And I'm like, then you don't have a month's worth of food, like it says on the
Right.
packaging. And furthermore, now you're up to about 5,000 to 6,000 milligrams of salt a day. Pick your poison. You're either going to die of hypertension or not enough calories and nutrition, right?
Or
And
diabetes.
so,
Yeah.
so that made me so angry. And then when I'm speaking at these conferences, people would be selling like pancake mix. And I remember going up to one of the biggest, I mean, you would know their name, okay? It's the biggest food, emergency food suppliers out there. And they were selling pancake mix. Pancake mix explodes after a few years.
Yep.
You can't package pancake mix.
Yeah.
And I asked them, how can you give a 25-year shelf life guarantee on pancake mix? You and I both know that's a lie.
Yeah.
And they said, well, our guarantee is it's 25-year, what was it? No worry guarantee. That's what it was. 25-year no worry guarantee. That was their words. And I said, what do you mean no worry guarantee? You know it's going to go bad after about 5 years, so it's going to explode. You got to throw it away. And they said, well, if it goes bad, we will replace it for free. And I go, but you know it's going to go bad. And I've done this presentation so many times and have people call me afterwards because they open up their boxes and they said, it's exploding. You want more cans? And I'm like, no, I have enough.
Yeah. You have
And
enough.
so, but the thing about it is, these are little gimmicks that people use, you know, and now people are catching up on the up to.
Yeah.
So now they're saying designed for, built for, right? All this stuff, they're trying to change it. But that got me so angry that I started digging so deep into food and understanding foods. And we made a lot of mistakes ourselves. I mean, and part of those mistakes were my learning, right? My education. But come, 20, 30,000 hours later, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of mistakes, 15 years of experience doing this professionally. I know if foods work.
Right.
And what happens in the industry is people are selling only freeze dried, and they're doing tasty foods, or they're doing all the little tricks they do. The truth is, sometimes dehydrated is way better than freeze dried.
Yes.
And sometimes freeze dried is way better than dehydrated.
Great.
And you need to know which foods are good, which ones aren't, which ones are GMO, which ones aren't, which ones are, again, it just goes on and on. Even wheat. I'm a wheat snob.
Yeah.
I can give you a whole lesson on wheat, and people don't even know. People who are wheat experts don't even know some of the stuff I teach.
Okay, that's cool.
About falling numbers and all this stuff. They're like, what's a falling number, right? And if you don't get things right, you're getting the wrong wheat, and it's not going to last.
Right.
So just little tiny things like that. And if people are educated, now all of a sudden they're empowered. And that's what makes us different, is we educate people and then get them the right foods, not the popular foods. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
But the right foods for daily eating and the right foods for storage that are going to last, because we pick the right foods and teach you why. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's one of the things that makes us different.
No, that's awesome. That's a lot, actually. That's a lot to take in. Okay, we're gonna yeah.
I hope that's okay. I'm probably talking a lot.
No, it's good
passionate
because
about this.
there is a lot to take in. There are a lot of companies out there that don't have the best reputation,
but you wouldn't know that.
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't know that unless you're in the industry. And the industry is very small. We know the players.
Yeah.
And one thing you can almost guarantee, if you see a ton of advertising online from the company, not from affiliates or anything like that, which you are amazing. You're one of our affiliates. This is not an MLM. This is affiliate. And I tell everyone on here, please support Lisa, because she has common sense.
Thank you.
I love that, right? But if you see a ton of advertising for emergency products on the internet or anywhere else, you can almost guarantee that they have cheap products and huge margins, or else they wouldn't be able to outmarket everybody else. And when you can outmarket everybody else, everyone thinks they're the best because they see them everywhere.
They're the most visible, yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
the truth is, the best companies in the market, the best filters, the best this and that. Most people don't know who they are because they're not marketers.
Right.
They're just amazing at manufacturing, and nobody knows who they are because they don't know how to get their name out there. I know who they are,
Right.
right? But they don't. Nobody else knows who they are. And
Hmm.
so I just say, just be careful. Be careful
Yeah.
with the marketing.
Try to do your homework.
Yep.
We're trying to do our homework. Okay. We just answered the next question. Okay. So we're going to skip down to another one. How
Okay.
do you ensure the quality and taste of your products compared to your competitors? How do you ensure that?
That's a great question. One of our core values, I have right behind me, our core values here. Okay. If
Okay.
you look down right here to the third core value, this is always improving. That's one of the things in our company, we're always improving.
Okay.
Okay. We might think we have the best broccoli in the world, but then we find out there's a better broccoli in the world. Guess what? We switch.
Okay.
Right. And one of the things I do to my team is I do not tell them where the food comes from. I do not tell them the price of the food. Okay. I get my team together and here's 4 carrots and 5 bananas and whatever else. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
Now, it's a little tricky because we might find a banana that is amazing. It blows away any other banana, but we can only get one batch of it.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to kind of balance it because we go, okay, if we can only get one batch of it, then what's going to happen in the future? So we
Right.
have to find something that actually we can get, because we used to do big pineapples.
Okay.
And Thrive used to do big pineapples back in the day when all of us could get big pineapples.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden that dried up and all we can get is 3/8 inch. And then Thrive went to 3/8. They went to small. We went to small because we could get that consistently. And it wasn't the big ones. Well, I think we found a big one again, by the way, that's consistent.
Okay.
That's a secret. Oops,
I don't know anything. We won't
Okay,
talk.
but I think we found one. But the cool thing about it is I will give all this food to my team, and I'll just say, tell me which one's the best. That is consistent, and we can get on a normal basis, right?
Right.
And they'll say this one's the best, and I say, oh, by the way, here's what it costs, and this is, I just give all the details. But they look at the nutritions, they taste it, they do the crunchiness, the dryness levels, all the details without knowing the facts of where it came from, the price, or anything like
That's
that.
good.
And so when they find the cleanest, best food, that's
Right.
what we put on, and that's how we do it.
That's great. Okay. Can you talk about the sourcing of your ingredients, where they come from, why that matters, possibly address the organic, non-GMO issue?
Yep.
Okay.
So organic's going to be super expensive, just to let you know. So we do organic once in a while. Like my wheat right now is organic wheat.
Okay.
But that's because I went to the organic farmer and I tested his stuff and took it to a cleaner and I did all that work.
Okay.
Okay. So sometimes we have organic. All of our food is non-GMO. Even the corn. Even the corn. Okay.
Wow.
So that's one of the questions we ask, is this non-GMO? And then we do what we can to get it from clean farms and everything else. We do everything we can to get the best foods. Now, it's not always going to be organic.
Right.
And especially sometimes it's organic, but not certified organic.
Right.
Okay. Because now it prices out way too high for people and they just can't do it.
Yeah.
But we always look for where is a clean source, good, consistent supply, healthy food. And that's how we source things.
That's fantastic. No, that's very helpful, because I know a lot of people are interested in the non-GMO, because people are going to ask, is most of it grown in the United States or nope?
It's all over the place. We might get blueberries from Oregon or Washington. We might get corn from the United States. We might get sweet potatoes from the United States, but sometimes they come from Peru.
Okay.
Sometimes it's crazy, but like different countries are better at doing things. Like Egypt will do strawberries, for example, are just amazing, right? So it's all over the world. We might get peaches from Chile. They're just all over the world. But we don't we don't sit there and say, oh, it's from that country, so it must be bad. We don't do that. Okay. My team just finds out the details, and I don't even tell them where it's from, because in all reality, people have their prejudice against different countries.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't understand. I mean, you would understand, but a lot of people don't know. Just because it comes from the United States doesn't make it good or bad.
Mm-mm.
Just because our tomatoes come from Mexico doesn't make it good or bad.
Right.
Okay. There are good farms in Mexico and there are bad farms in Mexico.
And the same here.
There are quality farms and junky farms.
Yep.
And a lot of the companies out there selling this food don't care.
No.
So they'll pick from the cheapest ones. We don't.
That's good. That's good. Okay. And I like that it's focused on the quality, not necessarily the location.
Exactly.
Just some stuff we can't do here very well. But okay, so many of my viewers are new to preparedness.
Hmm.
So why should they choose Thrivalist as their first investment in freeze-dried food?
I wouldn't say just freeze dried. I would say
Or
dehydrated as well.
dehydrated? Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we've done our homework, and we do quality.
Okay.
Uh, Anytime we can do better quality, we will do better quality, as long as we can do it consistently, right?
Yep.
So that part is there. We've already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is more than that is the education. You need to get educated.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you're going out there and buying a bunch of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing it wrong, like I did. If I showed you pictures of my first early years of doing preparedness, I filled up my under my stairs and my closets with all these case law sales
Yep.
and everything like that. And I got collard greens in cans, thinking, oh, those are healthy and everything like that, until I opened one up and found out I couldn't eat it. And it was horrendous. I was like,
It's
I
not
can't eat
something that
this.
you ate beforehand?
No, it wasn't. That's
Oh,
the thing. But I did it
okay.
wrong. I did it wrong.
Yep.
That was part of my learning. And what happened is I opened up that can and I was like, I can't eat this. So I tried to cook it and I couldn't eat it. And I tried to add lemon to it. And I couldn't eat it. I added salt, sugar, and all these different things. I'm like, I can't eat this.
Feed it to the
And
chickens. Then
say again?
feed it to the chickens.
No, I
Chickens
actually,
can eat it.
my friend Abe is from the South and he loves collard greens.
Yeah.
And I said, are you serious? You like this stuff? And he goes, yeah. And I just gave him all this food and I was like,
Take
thank
it.
you, take it, take it. But I just did it totally wrong. Anyways, I got a side note, but side noted a little bit. But the point is this: if you're not educated, you're going to do it wrong. And you're going to spend a lot of
Right.
time getting the wrong stuff. I mean, even little things like this: people put their food in jars.
Mhm.
I tell you, do it. If you open up a can of food,
Yeah.
immediately put it in a jar.
Immediately. Yep.
Okay, and fill it up to the top. You don't even need an oxygen absorber. It'll stay fresh if you do it quick enough. But the problem is, you see these are green beans, but they're not green anymore
Because they were in the light.
because we left them in life for about a week to 2 weeks.
Yep.
And it took away the nutrition.
Cool, dark, and dry.
Yeah. And so the thing about it is people say, well, then how do I do it? I go, great. Get some tinfoil, put it around this, and put it in a cool place. It's simple,
Put it
right?
in a dark room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just created a dark bottle by putting
Right.
tinfoil around it or put it in a dark room like you're talking
Yeah.
about. But if they're not educated on this stuff, they're going to
Mhm.
lose a ton of nutrients because they just left it in the light.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
So there's so many things you need to be educated on, and food, water, filters, you name it. I mean, it
Yeah.
goes on and on and on. I was in the Grand Tetons with my ranger friend, and we were hiking out there, and there was snow, it was freezing, and everything like that, and he was pumping with his filter out of the water like he always does, and it's
Yep.
a ceramic filter. And I simply asked him a simple question. I said, what happens when you pump all day long and that whole filter is wet, and then you sleep overnight and it's going to get below freezing tonight? What happens to your filter? And he goes, I never thought of that. And I go, nobody does.
Yeah.
And I said, he goes, yeah, the water expands inside the filter and it cracks it. And I go, yeah, it's micro cracks. And then you're taking a chance of getting bacteria and viruses and everything else through. Well, bacteria in North America, but you're taking a chance of getting sick with parasites and bacteria and everything through your filter. And he goes, I never thought of that. And I said, yeah, that's everybody does it because it's the popular thing to do, not the right thing to do. And so I said, let me teach you about nanofilters. And then I taught him about nanofilters. You can freeze them, you can drop them, and all that stuff. They keep working. They go down to the virus level. So he took my nanofilter and used it for the rest of the trip, pretty much. And I'm like, that little stinker.
He stole it.
And
that's
it's education.
It is.
You have to have the right education.
Layers. I think what I say all the time is layers. If you're just starting out, then start out with this. That's fine. But
Totally.
when you come back around, get the next layer up. If you have a filter now figure out a way to purify it. Now find a way to, and
Totally.
just work through. And you don't have to do it all overnight.
And you're hitting the point exactly right, Lisa. Now it's back to supplies and skills.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because now you understand the principles behind it.
Yep.
And now you can get prepared the right way the first time.
Right. Yep.
And that's the key.
Yep. It's huge. So can you walk us through the types of products that Thrivalist offers?
Oh boy.
Okay. Meals,
hundreds and hundreds.
There's a bunch.
Yeah. So we're putting on Thrivalist.com because we own other companies.
Mm-hmm.
On Thrivalist.com, we just had to launch it quickly because the Thrive people needed a home.
Mm-hmm.
So we put some freeze-dried fruits and vegetables and dehydrated fruits and vegetables and some grains and some milk on there. We didn't put the eggs on there because they're too expensive right now. But we put on the right beans, quick cooked beans, because you don't want regular beans. They harden
Right.
over time. And then you can't use them years later if you store them, unless you grind them or baking soda or something.
Multitude. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. So the thing about it is we have a whole bunch of gamut of different foods, pre-made foods that are pre-cooked, okay, not just pre-mixed, but pre-cooked. So they do last 25, 30 years.
Mhm.
We have desserts. We have all these different things food-wise. But we put on a few things just for fun, just a few things for survival, a few things for education,
Mhm.
just for fun to put up there. Not because those are the best things that we're putting out there, just because we want people to know that we have survival stuff, we have education coming. We're just going to decide what things we can put on there and still give an affiliate commission and not lose money in shipping and everything like that.
Right.
We
Right.
haven't had time to figure that out yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we have all the survival items. We have the right health items, the right water items, the right filters, the right. We just teach people the right principles. All that stuff is things we can offer, and we're gonna be rolling out as we figure out what's gonna be the right stuff to put on that site. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm gonna try
That
to keep it simple enough for people.
No, that absolutely does. And we'll end up jumping down to further that conversation. You do offer freeze dried, you do offer dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have a pretty good variety, but you're saying that you're going to add to it then. As
Yeah,
time goes
yeah,
along.
we're putting on a sample of it just so people have something to start with.
Okay. I do see. So when you go to Thrivalist,
Mm-hmm.
on the package itself, it says Ready Harvest.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the company. That's the freeze dried company.
That's
Right.
my company.
Okay. So that's you.
I own Ready Harvest since what, 2010 or 11 or something like that.
Okay.
And
But
yeah.
I also see Mountain House.
Yep, Mountain House is one of the only companies that pre-cooks their meals.
Okay.
And
Meal-
I'll explain the science behind that real quick, just in a nutshell. If you were to take components of a meal
Mhm.
and stick them in a big vat and mix them together and put them in pouches like 90 to 95% of the companies do,
Mhm.
when you do that, you're going to have, if there's enough water inside there, just with dehydrated stuff in there, you're going to have chemical reactions. So like this right here, this is a chemical reaction. Do you see
Right.
that exploding?
Yep.
You have a base and an acid in the same place, and it's exploding.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is you have chemical reactions that happen over time. So that food might last 5 years and 10 years, even though it says up to 25 years.
Right.
It might even last 15 years or 20 years. By the time you go to eat it, it's going to taste so horrendous that you're going to want to die. I mean, you can't eat it. And
Right.
what happens is I did this with one company. It was about a year after they packaged it. They had a 20-year shelf life. And I tasted it, and it was like, oh, that's not so bad. And then about 45 seconds later, there's a weird aftertaste in my throat. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And back of my tongue, I'm like, well, that's weird. Ugh,
Yeah.
And so I thought, but if I were in an emergency, I would eat this stuff because I don't want to throw it away. So I ate more of it. Well, next bite, it went down to 30 seconds. Next bite, 15 seconds. Next bite, as soon as I tasted it, like, oh, I can't eat this.
Wow.
And I ended up throwing away literally tens of thousands of dollars worth of food. I mean, that was a painful lesson.
Yeah, that hurts.
And what happens is if you don't pre-cook it, that food is going to go bad. And when you're putting all those ingredients in, when you pre-cook it, you not only add the vat or the food in the vat like everybody else does.
Right.
And now this company puts it in packages and makes their millions and millions of dollars because they don't have to put water in there and spend an hour putting water in there and then mixing it, and then taking an hour to put it in pans,
Right.
and then taking a day to deep freeze it,
Mhm.
and then days to freeze dry it, and then put it in expensive packaging. That's what Mountain House does. So
Okay.
now
They do all the heavy lifting.
they do all the heavy lifting. Now, when that happens, as soon as you put the water in it, it diffuses the ingredients. As soon as you cook it, all the chemical reactions that can happen over 25 years happen as soon as you cook it.
Mhm.
So the salt's mixed in, the garlic's mixed in, all the
there.
chemical reactions are done.
Yep.
Then you freeze dry it. 50 years later, it's still good. So Mountain House right now is our pick of choice because they do it right. If we
Okay.
find a better one than Mountain House, we switch.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. What about the meats? Are you intending to do meats?
We are.
You are?
Yeah, we're in the middle of it right now. Right now, we've been doing meats with Mountain House because they do a good job,
Mhm.
and we have the ability to do meats ourselves. And so we're moving in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to say
I,
that.
I don't know anything.
You heard nothing.
No.
These are not the Jedi's you're looking for.
No, no. You should see some of my other interviews. I always manage to get the scoop. Yeah, and just sitting here. Okay, so what are some of the most popular or customer favorite items that people should try first?
Boy, food-wise, there's a lot of them. The apples would be surprising. Like the apples, if you look at our they're apple bits. We call them apple chips, but I told my team those are apple bits. We have apple chips that are bigger, and I might bring those in. We used to do apple chips, but we couldn't find apple chips that didn't have the sulfur in it. When you see apples that are really, really white,
Yeah,
it's because they add something to it.
yeah.
Most
Okay.
of the time. Most of the time.
And
Our little
I'm
apple. Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
do this right here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
there it is.
those are the apple chips.
Yeah, those right there are apple bits,
Or
but we
bits.
call them
Yeah.
apple chips, right?
Yep.
But I told my team on the next label, please change it to apple bits because they're
Okay.
bits, not chips.
Right.
And those right there are dehydrated, not freeze dried. And you notice they're brown.
Mm-hmm.
And people say they're brown. I'm like, yes, they're brown. Like they're natural.
Yeah, there's nothing on them, so
There's nothing on them, and they're sweet. They're delicious. You get about 5 times more apples in a can than you would with freeze dried apples.
I like that.
Yeah, and you're able to use them in your oatmeal. You're able to use them in pies. You're able to. I mean, so many things you can use them in. It's just giving you so much good food,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's a good one. I mean, there's so many good ones. Our peaches. Now, our peaches have a little bit of sugar added to them. That's
Okay.
on purpose because peaches, a lot of times, when you buy them to freeze dry them, well, before you freeze dry them, peaches get really soft very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When they're ripe, they're like, and what happens is a lot of companies will take them right before they get ripe and cut them up. And when you get the peaches that are freeze dried, they're kind of bland. They don't taste as sweet as the ripe ones. So now what we do is we get them more ripe. We end up putting a little bit of sugar on them as well. And when you get those freeze-dried peaches, it's the only thing we add anything to is the peaches.
Okay.
Because they blow away all the other peaches. Not even just a little bit, a lot. Because they taste so much better. And now because of sugar, they're harder. And they last longer when you open them up. They don't go as soft as quickly. And you don't get as much bacteria in the peaches as
That's a good thing. Yeah, there's bacteria.
So it's a good way to go. But those peaches are delicious. People love them. The mangoes people love. The corn people love. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, there's probably like 10 to 15 items people love. If you were to take that garlic, okay, that little tiny garlic, okay, and you were to put one little tiny bit of that garlic on your tongue, that flavor goes throughout your mouth so quickly. And it's just one little time. I tell people, don't do a whole bunch of garlic. Do one and see what happens.
Right.
And they're like, are you serious?
A little bit goes a long way.
Our biggest seller. This is going to surprise you. You ready for this? Our biggest seller is our dehydrated sweet potatoes.
Okay.
So we just pulled up our spreadsheets for the last year or two. Our biggest number one seller, dehydrated sweet potatoes.
Okay, because on the website,
yep,
there is dehydrated and then there is freeze dried. You offer both.
Exactly.
Okay.
The dehydrated one, you're probably getting about 4 to 5 times more potatoes inside that can because it's condensed. And it's also very high quality potatoes. We were selling different dehydrated sweet potatoes before, and then we found a source that gets sweet potatoes out of the United States, Peru, and one other place. I can't remember where it was. But that source was cleaner, better, and everything else because people hear dehydrated sweet potatoes and they go, oh man, they must be sweet. Guess what? They're potatoes. And even though it says sweet potatoes, they're pretty bland.
Yeah.
Okay? And this one actually has a little bit of sweetness in it. And it's super nutritious. And the dehydrated is going to have about probably four times as many calories, probably about 4 or 5 times. You could do the math, but
yeah, it was the dehydrated was 270 calories for a half a cup.
Yeah, and if you're look at the nutrients also. Look at how many more nutrients it has.
Right.
And then look at the freeze-dried and look how little compared to the dehydrated it has.
Yeah, it's significantly less.
And what happens is we were servicing the Navy SEALs, and I work with the chief nutritionist. She's a good friend of mine. And they were able to pick anything they wanted, MREs, Mountain House, anything they wanted, all our foods. And guess what the number one food they picked is? Dehydrated sweet potatoes. And I sat there and I said, guys, aren't you like in the middle of the forest, like all that stuff? I mean, those are heavy. And they said, oh, it's not like that. They said we stationed in places for a long time waiting for us to be deployed.
Yeah.
And we have cooks and everything like that. And the dehydrated sweet potatoes have more nutrients. And it stinks for us because dehydrated potatoes, sweet potatoes are heavy.
Yeah.
We have to spend more in shipping. We give 4 to 5 times more potatoes. It's not a huge moneymaker for us.
Yeah.
Okay. But people are getting so much more value from that we, again, it's not popular. It's just the right thing to do. So that's what we do.
Yeah. No, and that's good. That's very good. Why do you believe that every household should have dehydrated and freeze-dried foods on hand?
For emergencies, first of all. Second of all, because I don't know about you, but I don't like cutting onions and I don't like cutting garlic. And in all reality, we used to do our own garlic. And then I'm like going, wow, it's cheaper to get a can of garlic.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go bad. That's expensive food when it goes bad in your fridge, right? And it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
And we can use it as an antioxidant during when we're sick. My kids love it. I'm like, wow, my kids love it, and they take it. And it's going to burn the mouth a little bit unless you dilute it a little bit. If you do a whole
but that's
spoonful
for you when you're sick.
Oh, absolutely. And you throw it in your eggs and your omelets and all the stuff you make, and it's just so easy.
Yes.
And you're not dealing with the stink. You're not dealing with the crying eyes on the onions or all that stuff.
And you're never running out.
It's so convenient.
Yeah.
It is so convenient. So you should have it for emergencies, period. Okay. People say, well, it's so expensive. I go, of course it's expensive. It's expensive because if I had a regular strawberry from the store, okay, that I just got from Mexico or United States or wherever, California. Excuse me, that's my phone.
It's okay.
I should probably turn down the volume. My wife picked that ringtone, and I think it's hilarious. Anyways, if you have regular strawberries from the store that have been just put on the shelf and sold, that's going to be a lot cheaper than somebody who's buying strawberries that had to be cleaned, prepared, cut, deep freeze-dried for days, and then packaged in expensive cans or pouches that can handle it. It's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
But guess what's more expensive?
Throwing away strawberries because they went bad.
Strawberries. Exactly. Guess what's more expensive? Those strawberries a year from now because of inflation.
You're right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's more expensive. Okay. Well, guess what's more expensive? Another pandemic happens and everybody rushes on the strawberries, and all of a sudden they're like 5 times the price, and you got them way ahead of time.
Supply and demand.
Okay, and that's the thing. That's way more expensive. So I say, buy once, cry once. Get the right stuff and do it, and don't get into the misnomer. What happens is I ended up teaching a group one time. It was a church group. And afterwards, one of the guys came up to me with a little bit of a white face going, I think I got the wrong food for my family after you taught me all this stuff about food. And I just didn't know. And I spent all this money on food, my family of 5, and I got 3 years worth of food. And I think I got the wrong food. I can easily find out if he has 3 years worth of food. Guess what? I just ask him, how much did you spend on the food? Because look at this logically. Okay, ready, Lisa?
Yeah.
Most families, family of 5, will spend at least $500 on food a month. At least.
Yep.
Okay, probably closer to 1,000.
Yeah.
But say it's just 500. Now we know that food from the store is not going to be as expensive as this food if you get the right food.
Right.
You're not getting a food that that's half filled, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's junk food, right? That's really quality food. Buy once, cry once, like I said. Now, if I know that he is buying emergency food that's quality, then if it's going to be more expensive than what he spends for his family every month.
Right.
Okay. So if you take 500 on the low end and you times it by 12, it comes out to $6,000. If he had 3 years worth of food, he should have at least spent $18,000, probably about 3 times that.
Right.
If he's getting good quality stuff. Okay. I asked him, how much did you spend on your food for 3 years for your family? And he said $2,400. And even before I got to his house, I just said, you don't have 3 years worth of food. And if you do, it's the junkiest stuff. You should throw it away.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting there. And sure enough, he didn't have the right food or the right amount.
Right.
And people just, they try to go for the cheapest stuff in the market. And when you get to an emergency, you can't eat it or it's gone bad.
Right. And I mean, that's a lot of fear-based purchasing there instead of practical purchasing, saying, my viewers know, if you see me with a fresh onion, something weird has happened because I don't buy them anymore.
Yeah.
I have freeze-dried and dehydrated onions coming out of my ears because I never want to not have onions.
Totally.
I use it all the time. But if I put them on
Absolutely.
my counter, they grow,
Yeah.
So it works out much better. I save a ton of money and I don't throw any of it away.
Yeah. And you got the right idea. And
Yeah.
the same thing, it's convenience also. When you
Oh
look at
gosh.
pre-cooked beans, right? We have dehydrated beans, not freeze-dried, because
Right.
freeze-dried don't taste as good, and you get more beans in the can with
Mhm.
dehydrated. And you take that and you literally put it in cold water for an hour, they're done.
Yeah.
If you want to put them in hot water, you're not spending all this time and money, especially during an emergency when you should be using that fuel to heat your room
Right.
or whatever you're going to do, right?
Mhm.
And when you have those pre-cooked beans, you literally don't even need heat. But if
Right.
you needed to, you can cook it in 15 minutes at a boil, not a pressure cooking, nothing else. They're done,
Yeah.
right? You can eat them. Like I can grab these. These are pre-cooked beans. They taste, they crunch just like what's that? Corn nuts.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
you put
Yep.
them in your mouth, and
Just like that.
the pinto is going to be a little bit easier to crunch than the black beans. Those are a little tighter.
Yeah.
But you can throw these in your mouth and just crunch them like corn nuts, and you
That's
get your
great.
proteins, you get your
Oof.
carbohydrates, all that stuff.
You don't even have to cook it.
No, you get your
Beautiful thing.
and the truth is most Americans don't know how to cook beans.
Most Americans don't know how to cook anymore. They have actually
Period. Yeah,
kind of bred it out of us over the last 3 or 4 generations. So yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so where do you see Thrivalist heading in the next 5 years? Any exciting new products or expansions?
A lot. There's a lot of stuff I've been working on in the emergency preparedness space because I'm a fireman, I'm an EMT, did
Mhm.
search and rescue. There's a lot of things that I look at, I'm like, they're not doing this right. And I've been working scientifically to create better filters, better warming up stuff, a whole bunch of different things. So there's some stuff coming that I'm not going
Nice.
to talk about.
Okay.
But more than that is my mission to change fear to faith,
Yes.
to go from prepper and survivalist, which again I'm a prepper and survivalist, to a thrivalist,
Mhm.
which is a positive word. It equals sensible preparedness.
Yes.
Where you don't have to be a fanatic. Okay, it's sensible preparedness. But my dream is to get in the next 5 years where people are using thrivalist. I'm a thrivalist. What does that mean? Oh, I'm a prepper and a survivalist without going overboard, right?
Nice.
I'm a sensible person who does preparedness sensibly, whether I'm a homesteader or whatever. I'm a thrivalist. I
Right.
believe in thriving, not just surviving. Why would you just want to survive?
I know.
I want to
I know.
thrive.
I know. No, that's awesome. Okay, I like that. In the next 5 years it'll be a label that we all use.
That's what I'm hoping for. That
No, it's good.
people use it to change fear to faith.
Yes. Yes, because none of this is about fear. None of
Mhm.
this should be about fear. That's great.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's the one takeaway you want my viewers to remember about Thrivalist?
I would say it's not about us; it's about them.
Nice.
That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's about serving them and their families the right way the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and finding the best ways to do that, and always becoming better.
Awesome.
So that's what I would say.
Good. It's a great answer. I appreciate you spending time. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on, especially with all the changes that have been flying your way, because I know what all the changes are flying our way have been like. So I appreciate you taking time to talk about Thrivalist and all that the company offers. And I'm very excited to see how working with you in the future goes. I think this is a good thing. I'm
Thank you.
really enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it too. Thank
Yeah.
you, Lisa, and thank you for everything you're doing for all the families out there. I think that's amazing, and I love teaming up with you.
That's
So if
we're
there's
gonna
anything else I can do to serve you or your followers, whatever, just please let me know.
Oh, I already have ideas planned in my head. You're in so much trouble. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And for everybody, please hang out for a couple minutes because we are going to be doing some taste testing.
Awesome.
I got a package. Okay. So Thrivalist, I put in my order and I received it. Some things for us to take a look at and try. Freeze-dried sweet potatoes, freeze-dried banana slices, freeze-dried broccoli. And they have a thing right now if you want to do it. It's a little sample pack and it comes with a free course. It does. But these are all the different things that you can try in the sample pack. At this time, they didn't label them, but you can pretty much guess what most of them are. This, my friends, is freeze-dried garlic, the bomb, okay? But I will be going through and testing a bunch of these, strawberries, corn. I think these were peaches. carrots. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. These are how they don't have apple slices, but they do have apple chips. And these, oh gosh, I literally can't wait to try them. So what I know that we did get was asparagus. And so it's small little pieces like this, okay, small dices. And then we got the corn, we got the garlic, red onions. I mean, where'd that go? Red onions. I'm so excited. Freeze-dried green beans, which are, okay, right there. And then the sweet potatoes, pardon me, the dehydrated pinto beans. So literally you just have to soak them in some water and they come back. We've got the carrots, which I believe is this. And the sweet potatoes, which I believe is this. Then they have the dehydrated apple. And the reason that it is like this is because there's no sulfur. So they don't dip it. And so as it dries, because it's dehydrated, it turns to that nice little golden brown color, but sweet as sweet can be. Blueberries, which, typical are blueberries, and then the peach slices. And those are slightly sweetened with sugar, but super, super good. We're going to open these three, and I'm going to show you what we got here. I thought that this was such a fantastic conversation learning about this company, and I'm seeing some really awesome things, coming down the pike, and they're getting all their ducks in a row because this was kind of an unexpected growth spurt for them too. But it's all good. Okay. And, oh, look at how full that can is. Nice. Very nice. He did mention, so right now this looks like it's the florets. He did mention that they're getting a new kind of broccoli. So I'm not sure if that will change to this, the stalks also, but, okay, that's good. That's good. Yep, that's good. Okay. Yes, recommend. Yes, those are awesome. And it's a nice full can. And the only thing in there is broccoli. Yep. Freeze-dried broccoli. No additives or preservatives. Gotta love it. Freeze-dried bananas. Yeah, because, I was a little disappointed in the dehydrated bananas. They left the house within a day or two and went to some friends who would eat them because I know I won't if they're dehydrated with the oil. That just takes away from the shelf life. So why would I do that? And because I just wanted bananas. Look at how full. Look at how full that is. That's what I'm talking about. That's a freeze-dried banana. Yeah. Okay. These are dangerous. They are so good. Okay. Yep. Those are a yes. Absolutely. Okay. I learned a little bit today in that conversation about the potatoes. So the sweet potatoes, both freeze-dried and dehydrated. Freeze-dried, you get a potato, but the dehydrated, you actually get more in the can than you do when they're freeze-dried. Did you hear that airlock? Nice. And how cool that he talks about the lining on the can, because there are companies out there that don't use it, right? And that makes a big difference later on. Look at how full that can is. Yep. So those are the potatoes, right? Yeah. So I think the same thing is going to happen when I refresh them, is that they're not going to be orange like this. That because of the process, they will stay that color. These taste really good though. I mean, these taste really good. So yeah, that's a lot for freeze-dried. That's a lot. And you technically get more when they're dehydrated, because I think it was 3 pounds, it said, and this is 16 ounces. So if you don't mind dehydrated versus freeze-dried, because the cool thing is some things are really good freeze-dried, some things are really good dehydrated, and not necessarily everything is good both ways. The really cool part about this company is that they have the celery. They have freeze-dried celery, because I know a bunch of you were talking about, we need the celery. So yeah, that's cool. Now they also have this. And with all the heat and everything this summer, you guys remember me talking about electrolytes. So I got one of their sample packs of Relight Hydration, okay? And let's see, there's lemon lime, mango, mixed berry, pina colada, strawberry lemonade, and lime. And so I'm going to open that up so that we can see what it looks like. Yep, okay. And these just go into, what size bottle of water do they recommend? They recommend better reading glasses. So I'm going to say for a normal, like 16.9 ounce, which is what I normally do. You add that to that. There's a lot of really neat stuff on the website. So I will be placing another order because there's some other stuff that I'm very interested in. And I'll bring you guys along. But I hope, oh, and this one is unflavored. Nice. Okay, so that's cool. Because if you have issues with things, that have artificial sweetener or something in there, then that might be good. Because, yeah, these are 0 calories. 0 calories. Nice. So I can't wait to try these. I am a flavor, water flavor junkie, I have to admit. So I'm looking forward to trying those. So far, this is what I have ordered from this company. I am very excited about this. I have my link down below. I, of course, always appreciate your help in helping me to be able to bring this kind of stuff to you guys, because I like making it available, number one, for everyone. Number two, because this is still my intended retirement plan. I'm not kidding. I want to make sure that Phil and I have real, honest to goodness ingredients for when we, are older and maybe not capable of making money. And so this is going to make it possible for us to do. I will take these now that I've opened them, and I will recant all of this into airtight containers. So that is how I'm going to keep it fresh. And that is what I recommend you do. You don't have to use a vacuum sealer or an oxygen absorber. You just have to make it airtight. That's it. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you'll check them out and watch them grow. This company is going to grow exponentially. I am so excited about this. Yeah, I am super excited about this. So remember, GMO free. Yes, they're non-GMO. Love it. Love it. And the bananas are real freeze-dried bananas. Yeah. So they do have meals if you're interested in the meals. But, I'm an ingredient person, so I'll be doing this. But I'm very interested in that other water, that other drink powder thing. So I'm going to be ordering one of those too, because it sounds like it would make me very healthy. And then there'd be no stopping me, right? Remember that the link is down below in the description box. And I, of course, always appreciate your help because it helps me do what I do and provide for the channel. Until next time, everybody, be safe. Keep stacking it to the rafters, my friends.